There's no such a thing as historical accuracy. A few weeks ago, I sat in a dark room, staring at a big, bright rectangle, while Kleber Mendonça Filho, cast and crew, did the absolute most to bring Recife from 1977 back to life. The secret agent follows a man making his way back to his home state after his and his son's life is threatened by some really important people. The movie is incredible. If you haven't watched it, you should. But something else kept popping up in my mind as I was watching the movie other than, this is great. Is this really what the 1970s looked like? The cars, the clothes, the dynamics, the way people spoke. Is this movie historically accurate? Now, discourse about the accuracy of historically set films, it's plenty on the internet, and many have argued for or against any numbers of films, books, TV shows, you name it. These arguments usually go something like, such element, insert clothes, shoes, makeup, hair, weapons, is or is not historically accurate. Therefore, this show, book, movie, whatever it is, it's good or bad. And maybe that's enough for you, but it's not to me. Because you see, before we talk about shirts, cigarette brands, or whatever it is that you want to discuss, we have one really important question to answer. If I were to tell you that this morning I woke up, worked, then I got ready, set up my camera, and started filming, would you consider that a historical account of my day? If you said yes, you're wrong. In order for this account to be historically accurate, I would have to extensively explain everything that I did. At what precise time I woke up, what exactly did I do following waking up? When did I go to the bathroom? When did I brush my teeth? How did I brush my hair? Did I put makeup or did I not? Which clothes did I choose to put on? How did I put these clothes on? Did I put shoes on or did I not? History is not an overarching narrative. It is a collection of events, all influenced by that specific moment in time, and that when assembled, create the narrative of a person's life. There's no plot, no twists, no turns, at least in literary terms, nor heroes or villains, only different perspectives that when compared and contrasted create a scenario of a specific time. And most importantly, you cannot recreate history. You can attempt to retell, but never recreate. This is precisely what historians do. They collect information from the time, journal entries, newspaper articles, videos, recordings, pictures, paintings. And through those documents, and only through them, they try to reassemble an idea of what that time was. It's like assembling a puzzle with many missing pieces. So, what do you do when you want to tell a story set in a historical past? If storytelling is nothing else, it is definitely a tool of perspective taking. Time must be compressed in order for you to tell a story. Moments like a character brushing their teeth or tying their shoelaces must be editorialized, and maybe some bigger moments should too. Let's say I'm making a movie about Vivienne Westwood. Perhaps, to the audience's sake, I might not start the movie the moment she's conceived by her parents, but rather when she first makes her garment. Therefore, my story stops being historically accurate, but it does become more historically relevant. And all of this is assuming that the information we got from the people in the past is correct. Minor spoilers for The Secret Agent. There's this moment in the movie where our lead character is giving a deposition to two other characters. They are recording the conversation. At some point, our main character pauses the tape. Then he talks about his real feelings about another character. Then he presses play on the tape recorder again. But in order for the pause not to sound suspicious, one of the other characters says a lie out loud. In that case, she says she wants to use the toilet, so that's why she's going to pause the tape. Then she pauses the tape, only to hit play immediately afterwards. In this moment in the movie, what the characters are doing is reshaping history. They are editorializing themselves. And people have always done this. Maybe they straight up lie in an account, or maybe they just paint their waist a little bit tighter with some black ink. Humans will make everything they can to be perceived in the way that they want to be perceived. So, with that information in mind, the best that we can expect is maybe historically relevant or historically authentic. The goal is to recreate the logic of a time that will therefore inform the logic of our characters. But then, if recreating the past is not of interest to the storyteller, then why tell a historically set drama anyway? The phenomena is not new. The romanticization of a past that never really existed is a tactic that many aspiring and successful totalitarians have used in the past and present. It is easy to mold a reality that no longer exists. Humans are primed to look at the past with nostalgic eyes because the hardships are of the now, and everything that came before was easier in comparison. Your bias wants to believe that, even if that time was during a brutal dictatorship. When The Secret Agent came out, the fact that some criticism arose wasn't a surprise. It's a movie. You would expect that. Some people liked it, others didn't, and that's just life. But what you don't expect is that people would be upset about the way the dictatorship was portrayed, even though the movie never even says the word. It wasn't like this. It was all out in the open. No one was ever kidnapped or tortured. With an attempted coup d'etat by the former president uncovered at the end of last year, Brazil has been going through some political unrest, to put it lightly. And the discourse of a perfect past, where things just worked, is the favorite weapon of bad actors who want to convince people that they can still achieve that past. And the only way to do so is by taking rather violent action, all for the sake of a fantasy. I don't have the time to guide you through everything that happened during the Brazilian military dictatorships. There were 20 years of it, but even though they tried to erase most of it, it is not that difficult to find proof of all of the things that they claim didn't happen happening. But since most people from that time are either dead from said violence, dead from old age, or were simply too young to remember anything, it is very easy for the people who do remember and might profit from that violence coming back to take that history and reshape it into whatever they want it to be. And this is precisely why historical dramas like The Secret Agent should be made. With his background in journalism and his passion for archival storytelling, Kleber Mendonça Filho recreates a past that is not accurate, but it is honest about what it was. Yes, there's a lot of beauty and community, but there's also ugliness and selfishness. And it is through this honesty that we as an audience can reflect about this past and what it was that we loved about it and what it was that was trying to hurt us, and it might be trying to hurt us again. Historical accuracy as a concept never really existed, other than to just push one way of thinking or the other. Personally, what I wish from movies is much more than just the accurate depictions of phone sets or haircuts, despite those really helping with the suspension of disbelief, but rather an honesty and a fearlessness that give me permission to question not my past, but my present.